let's talk about our education system. You see, we cannot continue to have this colonial education system which is producing nothing to help the continent. Okay, Africans are extremely intelligent people. We are resourceful people. But what is happening and keeping us slow in terms of development is our education system across Africa is not fit for purpose. It's not good. It's just too much theoretical knowledge, very little practical knowledge. So it's time for us to transition or move to the next level where our education system incorporate both the theoretical and the practical knowledge. What I mean is, an electrical engineering student should be able to know, beside the theory, will be able to operate any electrical equipment, should be able to detect the fault, should be able to repair it. When we talk about agricultural students, we should move beyond the theoretical culture and produce and package and move to agribusiness, right? Where we are actually producing for market. When we talk about any other educational discipline, enough with the theory. Enough with the theory. I mean, theoretical knowledge is good, but it's time we imbibe more practical knowledge to make sure that when an African student graduates, he's not moving to Europe to look for a job, to look for visas, but they can establish themselves because we've given them the right knowledge, the needed knowledge for them to succeed right here on this continent. It doesn't matter the discipline that they go through, they should be able to establish businesses for themselves. Right from kindergarten, we need to have professionally trained teachers for the kindergarten, because if you messes up a kid's brain between 1 to 6, it's very difficult to correct. Currently, what we have is, no, we are not paying huge attention to the kindergarten and pre-primary education. Across the rural areas, education infrastructure is in shambles. But you see African politicians building mansions, skyscrapers, whilst the education system is corrupt. It's not good. How do we want us to develop this continent? So we'll use the little resource we have as a continent to train these bright minds, and immediately they graduate their first degree, they all move to Europe, US, other continents, and they will stay there, just like I did, for the next 20, 30 years, where they are really strong and work in menial jobs, not even professional, menial jobs. And when they are getting old, they return to Africa to do what? And this cycle is rather accelerating instead of decelerating. So if we want to develop Africa, if we want to develop this continent, we have to find a system of retaining the best brain on the continent. And that starts with the education system, practical education system. After the education, we have to give them the chance to work. Meritocracy must work. This corrupt means of employing people, paying to get job and all those kind of frustration must end. All other continents are developing. Countries are developing. When are we going to come together as Africans to develop this continent? This is the only home we have. Nobody respects you. Doesn't matter your degree, doesn't matter your passport. Your home is in Africa. So you should be proud of Africa, right? And we should start with our education system, so that we are training a genuine practical mind. They see problem, they can analyze problem, they can solve problem, and they can be proud of what they have done, right? Changing the mindset that we can do it, and we should do it. So if we want to develop this continent, this is what we have to do. Our current education system needs massive transformation. We need to produce more engineers. We need to produce more scientists. We need to produce more qualified, highly educated people for the continent. So education must be free across the continent. Quality education, I mean. And that the infrastructure that supports quality education must be provided. And I think this is where we can move forward, because it's time for Africa to develop. We cannot continue to allow this cycle of poverty. They grow in poverty, they die in poverty, they produce children in poverty. And this must cease, because the continent Africa is rich. It's the only continent with everything that can survive on its own. So let's come together, brothers and sisters, across the continent. Speaking English is not your language, it's not my language. Speaking French, you shouldn't be proud. It's not. But we should find a common platform where we can exchange ideas, collaborate, and develop our continent. Doesn't matter which language we use. We should start seeing ourselves as brothers and sisters. These artificial boundaries that they drew for us, and our colonial, whatever countries drew for us, and our ancestors kept it, we should be able to break it. It's just in our mind. Okay? We should start seeing ourselves as brothers and sisters, come together to develop this continent for ourselves. God bless Africa.